woman in my life. I'm tired of going out every night. I need someone to hold tight. Even thugs need love. That's right. Sometimes I feel like I need a wife. Push up. Baby, you the finest. You a work of art. Then your mama must have been breaking a lot of hearts. And I'm a ladies' man. Beautiful specimen. From the suburbs to the hood development.
If anybody can hear me out there, if anybody's out there, say something in the chat. How am I coming across? Am I sounding clear?
Make them boys buy you drinks on purpose. If you ain't feeling they vibe, mommy, they worthless. Cause you fine like Kim, thick like Chloe. Pretty little thing like Courtney, my thoughts unholy. Holy matrimony, that perfume lingers. You like her to make sure to put a ring on her finger. Beyonce singer, I think I'm gonna need a singer. Now I'm playing mommy, so don't take my jokes kindly. I just wanna spoil you, baby, to remind me that in this world you're my superstar. And I just wanna show you with exclusive cars. Like a Marciano, like a Mini Diablo. Laid back in the back, a couple of bottles. Baby girl, you are my superstar. And I just wanna show you with exclusive cars. My God. I wish that if I got a little kiss, show you I can say a couple shit for your mama, just so you know, just so you know. I wish that if I got a little kiss, know that I'll spend a couple trips with your mama, just so you know, just so you know. You know, girl, this is your time. Everybody else, pay them no mind. Spotlight on, this is your shine. You killing them, you accountable for your crime. Better buy the girl car, cause she's so fine. Straight cash, no cosign. And I'm the king of the sea, Pisces. What's the zodiac sign? Pisces. Are you a Scorpio that love attention?
Hey, everybody. See, we got a few people already in. Feel free to say hi in the chat box. And let me know how I'm sounding too, okay? Is it clear? Let me take this down. All right. This is my first ever YouTube live broadcast. All right, let me see who I got out here. I can say. And getting to know the user interface here. Okay. And let me just start off by saying why I'm doing this. Number one, I'm working with a client in marketing, and I was advising her, you know what, you should go on YouTube. She has a medical practice. I'm like, I think you're a natural and you should build up your clientele and all that. And then I'm going, man, I haven't done this, and I'm giving advice on that. It kind of like goes against, if you haven't done it, or, why are you giving advice or educating on it? So anyway, one thing led to another. I won't get into it, but then I said, let me just go ahead and do this. Let me jump in. And another thing was, I've been listening to this guy, man, this real estate guy, the last few weeks, like a month. And he goes on live about once, maybe twice a week. And he just talks real estate. But, he has like 400 people come on. And, a lot of them are just listening to him because he's soothing. They're talking about some problems today. He tries to keep it around real estate, but he just calms you. He relaxes you. And I found myself liking that, like looking forward to it, and actually angry when he wasn't even on. Like, oh, man, I wish this cat was on every night. Because sometimes, at the end of the day, man, you're a little stressed out from the week, from watching the news. Hey, guys, as you come in, just say hi in the chat box, so I kind of like know you're out there. And I was like, wow. Since I couldn't find it, I'm like, then let me go ahead and do it. Maybe other people will get some value from that. if I just talk about anything in general. Now, I wanted to do it last night, but I set up the channel and YouTube makes you wait 24 hours. I wanted to make it more like tonight, but general, but not so lighthearted party, whatever. I figure, hey, Friday night, who wants to get real serious, you know? No one, not after a long week. In fact, I just had somebody text me about, hey, man, they had a long week. And I said, I get it. Whether you're working at a job or you're just living, man, the week's long, you know, and sometimes you just want to connect with people like you. You know, you really can't go out as much as you probably would like to. So, you know, that's a whole different thing. And that affects me. You know, you can't just go to happy hour anymore and just kick back and meet people and talk and shoot the shit. You could, but there's some risk for some older people, for us older guys. Anyway, man, so I'm kind of happy that I'm able to do this, and really it's been a struggle to get it going, but you know, just do it. It's like anything in life, just do it and it's going. Okay. How am I sounding out there, guys? I really appreciate somebody would just type in something into your chat box, into your live chat, and just say, hey, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, you know, if you're able to do so. Otherwise, I'm thinking you're not even hearing me. Okay. Anyway, if you have any questions, man, if there's anything you want to talk about, just type it into the chat box. All right. Just give me a topic that you want me to roll off on. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go down a little list and talk about in general items that come to my head. But it'd be nice. This is gonna do well on participation. Okay. So if there's something on your mind, and I'm not gonna talk nonsense to you, I'm gonna be straight up. If it comes from my experience that I know about, or maybe even better, somebody in the audience knows, right? They can chime in, and that's how we all grow together from learning from each other. Other than that, hey man, I'm just gonna just keep talking, and maybe I'll crack a joke here or two. I'll tell some stupid experiences that I might regret. So maybe it's good that you know, that we start talking about some topics, so I don't say too much that I don't want to say. But otherwise, know guys that a little over a year ago, I had a double stroke. And I know most of you guys, I've invited a lot of friends, obviously, to log on today. And I'm telling you that as crazy as things are these days, I'm very happy to be here. I think I'm enjoying life pretty much almost as much as I've ever enjoyed it. You know, even the days that I work until I can't work anymore, I'm happy. And I try to extract as much joy as I can. Hey guys, those coming in right now, just say hi or give me a thumbs up in the chat box, so I know that you hear me. Anyway, thank you. And it's funny, man. I mean, I don't even hardly turn on the news because you really can't. If you want to get down, you know, depressed, yeah, go ahead and turn on the news. But really, to this point, you kind of like know what the news is every day now. And I don't need to be reaffirmed in negativity, you know? Thank you. Thank you for that thumbs up. So I had to change. Besides the fact, you know, that when you wake up, when you go to the hospital, when I went to the hospital when I had my stroke, I thought it was a bad reaction to metformin. So I took my time. I even drove myself to the hospital, and I was walking like a caveman. And they're like, sir, you've had a stroke. And I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. And you know, one thing led to another. Luckily, I had somebody there to support me. You know, I was very, very fortunate. But since that time, your brain changes a lot. And then we got COVID, and my dad died right 1 month after my stroke. And I'm like, okay, but you know what though? I'm fortunate that I've gone through a process where I really realized what's really important in life. You know, not to get caught up with the stress, and be careful with the BS out there and how to sort through that. And most importantly, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your soul. You know, you got to do it because no one's going to do it for you. Otherwise, you're going to get beat up by the news, by the BS, by the problems, by everybody else's stress. Okay, because they're gonna dump it on you. If they feel they can extract something from you, it's gonna come to you. Okay, no one wants to really put in the work these days. Everybody's looking to pretty much try to get over. And if you're one of those that has resources and you have a history of giving it, you're gonna get it. Okay, and you have to protect yourself. And really, that's another reason why I have this channel here, man. Just so once or twice a week, at this time, might be a little later. You're gonna actually tell me what's the best time, and kick back. And as people start to chat, put something into the chat box, guys. If you have a question, those that just come in, feel free to say hi. And also, if you have a question or something you want to talk about, put it in the message box there. And if it's a question, if I can't answer it, hopefully somebody from the audience, and so we can learn from each other. Because look, there's a lot of concerns today. How confident are you on retiring in comfort? That things aren't going to change so much. Now, I'm keeping this talk, this series of talk on this channel, I'm keeping it light. This is about de-stressing. But that doesn't mean if you have a question, about economics, finances, investments, retirement, children, generations, boy, can I talk about that one. Parents and children. You got to worry about yourself, and then you got the other generations to deal with, because they're coming with their hands, open, like, hey, I need help. And you're like, yeah, I know you do, but at your age, I was out on my own, blah, 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 blah. What you're going to do, man? We could talk for hours on that, and that'll come. And I mean, even through my relationships, I've had a whole bunch as I got divorced 5 years ago. And I could tell you that I've had some rough times and this and that, but looking back, I'm glad I had all my relationships that I've had, because I've learned something from each person. I experienced good times. And I'm at that point in life, man, where I'm just glad to share experiences with somebody, to love someone, to give love, make love, enjoy what I can for as long as God allows me to. Thank you, Nurse Amy, 1969, for telling me I sound crystal clear. I really needed to hear that. And the past year, as I've really come, I was already you guys, so far I have friends and family, that mostly friends that are showing up here. You know how I am, happy-go-lucky kind of. I mean, well, I try to be, you try to pretend to be, but you try to be cheerful but you can't control the world, and you can't control those around you. Oh, hola to you, NS. Thank you for stopping by and for saying hi in the chat box. Guys, if you have a question or a topic you want to talk about, we just don't do politics. No politics, man. I want to keep it happy. All right. There's some final. You can start a complaint channel, and if everybody tells me they want politics, then maybe I'll start the complaint channel. But we're gonna keep it positive here and enjoy this beautiful Friday. I'm in Valrico, Florida, guys, right by Tampa. For those that don't know, and right now we're in the lovely season. So, NS is asking me why. Why what? Or is this one of those general life questions? Why? Oh, please don't go there. Let me see this lighting here. How this looks. I think I'm a little pinkish. All right. I don't know. Is this better or worse? Anyway, if you care, let me know. I took the day off today. Hey, how's the weather up there? I think you're in New Jersey, right? Didn't you have some super high, crazy winds that was threatening to knock the roofs off of buildings? Oh, I'm glad you took the day off, because what's probably the worst crime you can do, guys? Wait till you get terminated and you give up all these days you didn't use. Okay? I've had friends, and this is after the last crash, 2008, that, okay, thank you, Nurse Amy, that, they bought a lot of days to retirement and the employer screwed them and stole hundreds of days, sick days, whatever other days. They didn't cash out. Now, when I retired from my last job, I used up all my days. I didn't, it was a feeling that I had because it didn't happen. I started using my days before for surgeries and all that. But I made sure that everything was used up, so I wasn't relying on my employer to give me what I rightly deserved. Okay, I can imagine today, and that's for those that are lucky to get days. Must use all your available. So you're agreeing with me? Absolutely. Don't give anybody, their employer, the reason to screw you, because it's all about profits in the end. There used to be a time where you were guaranteed a retirement. Most corporations, it was there for you. Those days are decades ago, gone. And that's the sad part, that today the younger workers, our children, and even us, that most of us don't have retirements or not even looking forward to retirement because you're not going to probably stay at your job to be there. And that's a stressor. That's a stress on the mind. If you're a person of color, it's even worse because now you're starting to see the studies come out. Okay, people of color have additional life stressors, so they affect you more, or there's additional, they're not on the general population. Cuts your lifespan. Look how many Black artists in the past few weeks are dying in their 50s. I'm 56. Tell me that don't hit home. These men got money and they can't get to 60. You got to enjoy your life any way you can. Only you can do that. Try to depend on somebody. Hey, man, good luck. Yeah, DMX. But he was on the edge. But we all know there's lots of reasons that push it to the edge, and that's growing up, the lack of proper mentorship, And that's another reason I have this channel, guys, because I've learned from the guy that I watch. Oh, Javier, I gotta pull up his name, man, he deserves to get a shout out. I noticed that people coming in and they're all saying, hey, even though his real estate talk, what are they bringing up? Retirement, saving, investment, and all these big questions. Why? Because they don't have anybody to mentor them. If your parents weren't that good at it, if they came over from the islands or from another country or whatever, or they were just dirt poor, they obviously didn't get the knowledge, to make wise investments. So when you buy a house, because, this happened to me and my brother and sister, you didn't get the advice from your parents because they didn't know. They're ignorant. They didn't know, what's the best way to get a mortgage, best way to save for it, help getting one, maybe connections. You have to make your own connections. Okay. So, also, any questions, you put them on, because this is where you make connections too. All right. If you're concerned about, one question I get a lot, guys. I get a lot of stuff on my phone, and I'm not an expert in it. It's crypto, Bitcoin, and what is it, Dogecoin, and all that. Hey, I don't know anything about it. The only thing I knew was back in 2011, Bitcoin was $9 for me. And I thought about spending $200 on Bitcoin. True story, 2011. And I didn't do it. And what I've been saying for about a year is, if I would have did it, that would have been worth what? $9,000, $8,000. And my divorce, we probably would have fought hard for that. That would have been another thing to fight for. But regardless, I had a chance to go in Bitcoin and I stayed of it. And right now I'm just so scared of it because it's just so expensive. And all of crypto, and I can't talk about it. Hopefully somebody maybe today or some other day could be like, hey, this is the lowdown, but I don't know, and I feel like I'm, maybe I'm missing out, and we all hate that because I know when you hear it on the news, if you're not in it, you're going damn. And me and my lady, we were talking about Bitcoin this year back in January when it was 13,000. Today I saw it was 57, between 54 and 57. Who knew? And she even mentioned Dogecoin to me when it was like, I don't know, a hundredth of a penny or whatever the hell it was. And it went up, what, 60, I don't know, 300%, 600%, or no, 3,200%. I don't know, man. I had no one, I haven't sought out to learn. And I have had somebody close to me whisper in my ear, go, yo, man, this is the move to make. And that's like everything else, guys. And that's, what moves do you make today? Should I buy now? Yo, NS, I don't know. I'm too scared. See, I'm not going to tell you to do something that I won't do myself. I don't know. Maybe somebody here who has Bitcoin can say, yes, I got it and you should get in, or I got it and I'm getting ready to get out. If somebody has Bitcoin out there and wants to lend a little advice, put it in the chat box. Market is crazy. Well, I just heard today that the S&P went up 5% last month. So if you had money, your stocks, your 401k had the portfolio was in S&P, you made 5% in 1 month. That's no joke. I didn't make any of that either. Yeah. Use your time bit by bit. Yeah, but use it. Old Puerto Rican saying, cógelo, pero cógelo, right? Something like that. No, cógelo como take it easy, pero cógelo. You know what I mean? That means take it easy, but make sure you take it, right? How often you tell people, hey, man, yeah, take it easy. They don't take it easy. Everybody's stressed to death, man. Making sure that they die young. Yeah. So what else? Let me see. What else can we talk about? We could start. I would love to start talking about generations, but that's too early for that. Inflation. Shit, man. I went to the supermarket today. I tend to do most of the shopping, obviously, because I gotta eat. Food shopping, and let me tell you what I've been noticing. Everything's up 25%, or the count is down 25%. If it has 16 ounces, it now has 12 ounces. Yeah, I'm right. They broke the pound on a lot of things. I won't buy it. Like, I'm in this whole, mode where I'm like, nah, I'm in a protest mode. Like, nah, you just went up 25%. Don't tell me you didn't raise the price. You dropped that count 25%, 4 less ounces. Today, what did I see that went up? And I was telling my girls, like, oh man, that's up 15%, because it was 5 for the 4.95 and now it's 6.25 or 6 whatever. So just like that, you're starting to see the prices go up, not 1 or 2%, guys. You're starting to see it go up 15 to 25% in a month, because now the supply chain is catching up. And I have some real bad news for you. Chicken wings. There's a national shortage of chicken wings, and they have doubled in price wholesale. I bought 2 lemons for $1. Okay. Yeah. And let me tell you, most of the time I buy 1 lemon, it's 59 cents or 69 cents down here in Florida at Walmart. Supermarket will have it for like almost $1. Why? Supply chain. Maybe, I don't know. It costs more money to have a truck driver on the road. They have a hard time processing it, where it gets picked at the farm and it has to get trucked over to the processing plant where they package it and send it out for distribution. Who wants to work now? You make more money staying at home, and that's the big problem now with restaurants. I know it's up north because I see the stuff on Facebook or it's in the news, right? No one wants to work. So even if you got money, you're taking your chances when you got to a restaurant because they don't have all the cooks, the preps, the prep cooks and all that. You don't know how sloppy the back is, how desperate they are. Yeah, but why the wings and not the legs? Well, wings are the most popular chicken part by far. And by far, I mean, that's why you have restaurants that only do wings. I know it's crazy. And I remember an old timer back in my family grocery store. He used to tell me back in the 30s and 40s, they would throw away the wings because who would want them? They didn't have any meat on them. And I'm like, really? Yeah. And now the wings are the most precious and expensive part of a chicken. Okay. Well, but that's going to end soon. Unemployment is going to be cut in September, I think. That's going to be interesting. Oh, you mean the payment so people could? Yeah, they're going to eventually have to come back to work. But also you got to worry that these businesses don't shut down. All right, that they don't have enough workers or don't have enough customers or whatever. That I saw a story the other day about a restaurant that's been around for a good while, and they were like, "We're going to have to shut down because the owners are working it. They can't get enough people to work." So, rent still got to get paid. Utilities, insurance still has to get paid, whether they open or not. I don't know. I think we may go through a big shakeout. And who says they're gonna come back to work, NS? So September, okay, who says they're gonna be like, okay, I'm making $600 less or whatever, or $300 less a week, that they're gonna come back? They may become hippies, man, like in the 60s. Yeah, I'm that old. In the 60s, they would just bum out, live at home. Hey, go back to my old room back in my parents' house. I remember I had a friend, man. I remember he used to tell me, he's like, man, I'm paying for each of my kids' cell phone, their car insurance, let alone what they eat. This is a lot of money. And I know we all got to do that as parents. But when they're in their mid-20s, that's different. That's not a different conversation. That's what we could be talking about. Okay, let me see some of these comments. Yeah, about people wanting to stay home instead of going to work. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to get into the politics of it, but I hate what they're teaching. I hate what they're teaching. It's scary. There's an issue where homelessness in Austin, Texas, just read today. I know Austin has a crazy low unemployment rate because they have all those tech people and all those tech companies with all that money. I mean, I don't know. In my 20s, I was kind of always on the verge of homelessness because I just didn't want to move back into my parents' 2-bedroom apartment. But if you worked, you always had a place and you just get roommates. I don't know. I just don't get it. Got to push them out of the house. Nurse Amy, you're kind of rough, but you're right. You're right. You got to push them out of the house. And you know what it is? Obviously, I know a lot of people from my military career, fire department career, through life, relatives, neighbors. I have moved a lot since my divorce. And hell, even when I was married, man, we were in Trenton and Camden and Medford Lakes, get to know a lot of people, especially when your kids are in school and you get to know the parents. None of these kids are getting out. All right. They're not moving out. They're trying to find ways to either Now it's going to be hard because if they're not going to school, they're not feeling school so much. And and a lot of you guys out there, I know your situations and you know mine. Kids don't want to get out. They're dragging their feet, and you can't blame them. It's like a freaking depression going on, or a Great Depression, and you don't know when the hammer is going to really drop on us. And then housing apartments so expensive now. That's insane. So now as a parent, you might feel very guilty if you're trying to push your kid out of the nest, but the rent's $1,600. Car insurance is probably $1,600 too, or more, or $1,800, depending where you're at. I mean, I'm quoting New Jersey and Florida prices, but that's what it is. And living and whatever they're doing, if they're going to school, whatever, and yeah, you feel guilty, But when they're pushing 30, what are you waiting to that until the 30th birthday? Then you're gonna magically grow the cojones to be like, yo, kid, you got to get out. Well, I don't want to, or I can't. The rent's too expensive. And you're gonna be like, yeah, you're right. Or they're coming back after they've been out. You thought you was gonna enjoy life a little bit. You're still working. Yeah, I can enjoy more. No, now you got the house full again. Let me catch up with this because I have a funny story. I think it's funny. You can tell me if it's funny. Let me see if I have it here though. Damn, wanted to show it. Yeah, the universe is messing with me this week because it's sending me change of address mail from my mom. And I got another piece yesterday. Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. This is with my address. We haven't talked about that. Last conversation I had with my mom, we briefly, we talked about, hey, you should stop by, come over for a visit, a week or two. And now I'm getting change of address. I'm scared to call her. This is true. Only 2 people know this out there. Not all of you. I'm scared to call my mom because I don't want to have this conversation now. I got my son coming over, by the start, if everything works out by the start of the school year, he'll be with me full time. He's still with the mom now, finishing out this year. And got my lady here, and I don't know if I can handle a parent moving with me. And for how long is that going to be? 20 years? I'm scared to call her because I just don't want to know. I don't want to know. Ooh. Okay, and let me see here. Yeah, but you know how about the ones that I move out. Yeah, but have the kids have a sense that the parents still owe them. That's a generational thing. That is definitely a generational thing. And man, I should have this book that's actually called Generations by Howe and Strauss. Man, they wrote this book in the early 90s that breaks down the generations, and they got this one straight up. They got us straight up, or us as a Gen Xer. They got the boomers straight down, and they definitely got millennials straight down, man. And it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. And that entitlement is strong. And it messes with your parent strings, I was out $1,600 for 2 cars, and one of them is ancient and old, and a year for car insurance. Yeah. Make the call. Better to know than wonder. Well, maybe y'all can convince me. I need to hear some arguments on that. Let me enjoy my last days in that sense. And okay, so I have one like that. Thanks. I'm her personal ATM. Yeah. Yeah, well, those are not the only ones. I mean, I got it. I don't want to get too deep into the legal stuff, but man, I had somebody, 2 people, 2 different parties chasing to sue me for stuff that they did on their own, like literally on their own. Nothing to do with me. But it doesn't matter because they're going to sue you eventually. I have real estate guys, and thank God, I'm getting out of everything. I do not want to be a landlord these days. Okay, I give it to people who have the strength to do that, to get into investment property right now and get into the rental business, because I won't do it. I don't have a tenant right now, and I'm selling off my last property, and forget it, man. Because let me tell you, they do something wrong, they sue you. Don't have to be right. They just figure, hey, we'll settle. So it's a whole different game now, man. And anything that smells like liability, any investments that somebody could possibly sue me, no, I don't want to be involved. I don't feel the other generations, whether they're older or younger than me, you know, especially with the sense of entitlement that I've seen. And it's too much. I don't have the guts to be in the game, so I'm looking for new game. I've been making a big push into my marketing business as an agency. This is part of the reason also that I'm here, because those that came on early, I'm advising a client to go on YouTube, and here I am giving advice that I haven't done. Don't feel right. So this was part of the impetus for me to just go ahead and do this. Let me see how it is. Let me actually do it. Then I can teach it. Which is how I learned from fire executive development in course that I took years ago. You to be instructed, you have to have done it. And I'm like, that's right. Read some of these comments here. Guys, you have any questions? Also pop them in. But I'm grateful for these comments. Yeah, you can't pay me to be a landlord either, too. I'm getting out. And I feel, and those that are getting in, wow, the prices you have to pay for real estate. And man, how about the prices people are paying to buy their first houses, or they're moving from one to the other? I know of two parties that have sold their houses and haven't locked down their next house. I'm like, well, what's the guarantee you're not going to pay way, way more or get caught in a bind? Like, nah, man, nah. Whatever. It's not me. It's not me. Guys, and if any of you are out there are looking to buy a house and have questions, pop them in. I'm not going to say no, but if you have to buy a house, there's definitely strategies. And that's stuff that I've done my own. Like I've done them and saved some money, But that could be a conversation anytime, depending on the audience. Yeah, that also is a reason why I don't feel what's going on today, man. It's just so out of touch with me. The craziness with real estate, the lack of workers, and there's so many jobs. There's a disconnect. I need somebody to tell me, hey, it's gonna get better. That making the right moves. I need some reassurance from some peers that it is going to get better. But it is going to get better, guys. You just don't quit. So this is, maybe we enter into the motivational part. Stick it out and actively work on making your situation better. And by you making your situation better, yourself better, hopefully that'll be that will chill out anybody around you who's got different ideas. You're the example. Hey, I'm working my ass off, or I'm doing this, I'm making this move. That's the only way I see things should be done. So don't come up to me asking for this and this and this. That's outside of my normal operating range. Okay? Say, this is how I move. How can you expect me, which you don't move like me, to reward your behavior? My kids know how I come. That's why they don't call me. That's That's why they don't bother me. Hey, I miss you. Call. Send a text message. All right? Doesn't mean I'm going to still say yes. But I might say a little something, you know? Oh, my husband recycled old lumber because it was too expensive to purchase. Yo, lumber is off the hook because I used to buy when I was rehabbing my places when I was still buying and rehabbing places. I would be there, Home Depot, loading up my truck, man. Yo, I couldn't. That's another thing. On the investment side, damn. If you gotta make changes, you can't. This is I've never ever have seen it this bad, ever, and it's bad. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, it's funny because I work with a Dominican guy, man. Sweet guy. He's a great builder in the Philadelphia Camden area. If you need a guy, hit me on the side. I'll send you his info. Honest as hell. He's my main guy. And he was collecting lumber like 6 months ago because he was like, hey, can I store some lumber, some things at my property? He brought all this stuff. And I'm like, this stuff is scrap. I mean, it's lumber. I'm like, why would you store used lumber? Just go to Home Depot. Yo, my man is Nostradamus. There's a Dominican Nostradamus contractor in the Philly Camden area. Because I see it now, man. He saw this coming. Man. And yo, it's on the news every day. So that's another thing, man. If you can't move and you got to build. I just saw that, was it 2 weeks ago? National Builder said that right now the cost of building a new house is 24% more expensive because of lumber. So, of course, they got to tack on that price increase. 24% more to build a house. Now, he's talking about his cost. The cost that you're going to get because he's going to tack on a more profit. I couldn't buy a house today. I'd look every now and then, and I'm like, nope. Plus, there's nothing to buy. You know, I'm looking for land, and it's like, good luck with that. They got insane prices for land, bare land. That's before the sewage connections, and they get crazy. Yeah. There's a lot of homelessness, but there's a lot of jobs. Yep. Hey, guys, those of you that just come in, feel free to say hi in the chat box. I know you're out there. Let me see if I can work this. Still, first time. Still learning the GUI, how to operate this. Oh, this tells me the chat participants, but I really can't see who's in this box. Okay. Anyway. Well, if you guys are enjoying my chat so far, my talk, give me a thumbs up. If I'm boring the hell out of you, give me a thumbs down. If you don't care, well, don't do anything. But I do appreciate you coming by. Okay. I was hoping to get 2 people, so we're doing way better than that, so I'm happy. And I'm hoping I'm giving you something of value. Guys, any questions? Pop them in. Or comments, or just write it, put in a subject. Let me see here. Friday night. I don't want to come in too heavy, I guess, on my first one, unless you take me there. So, what can we talk about? Hey, you know, in my promo video, I wasn't joking. Friday nights are a pizza and bed by 9:30. Woohoo! And it feels good. It feels good. Although I wasn't happy with our pizza, what was it, from last week or 2 weeks ago? Me and my girl, we got some pizza. And man, they messed up my Sicilian. It wasn't sauced right. They missed, like I had this much in the corner of no sauce, which I think that's a crime. I know it'd be a crime in New Jersey. I don't know what it is in Florida. But the pizzeria guys, they're so freaking busy. I've never seen it so stacked with pizzas on top. It's insane. Well, my girl was telling me about it because she went to pick up. So I really dig her. She picked up the pizza and normally does. But when I got my Sicilian, I took a picture of it, man, and I was like, I never seen this. Like you can have this much from the corner, and just to relate it, and it's like no sauce. Anyway, they were super super busy. So I guess people got money for pizza. So I guess there's a lot of people like me. Friday night pizza and 9:30 bedtime. Okay, and that says, but anything, my husband built his own deck a couple years ago, and now it will be more than double to get it done. Absolutely. Yeah, forget about Puerto Rico. I'm as much as it calls me to go there, and I lived there for a while, a long time ago. They got too much that needs to be fixing, you know. And I had a friend that I dated a couple years ago. She actually bought a house in Puerto Rico. Oh my God, what was that? Aguas Buenas, and up in the mountain. Beautiful. She talked about, hey, this was it. She's retiring. She's 58. She went over there, came back in 2 weeks. I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm selling it. In fact, I sold it. So what do you mean you sold it? You've been talking about this house forever, since I've known you, at least. And she's like, yeah, Puerto Rico changed. The people, the youth, everything. She's been here too long. And sold it. And it was a gorgeous house. Up in a mountain, beautiful views. It's insane. So that's helped me think about, reassess my plans to go live in the island. I don't know. I'm not feeling it with the security and then the COVID thing, reactions and all that, whatever. Today, I'm happy to be right outside Tampa, not far from the beach, got my own swimming pool. Hey, I'm happy right now. If anything, I want to buy farmland, like something close by, farmland. So if the kids or the mom shows up, I could say, we'll get you a trailer and park it in the corner. You have your own little garden and everything. Serious, guys. That's what I'm looking for. But the prices are insane because everybody's moving down here. So let's see if that changes, But that's my contingency plan if people show up and they're homeless. Not my house. But I'll tell you what, let's put something for you in the corner over there. We can pitch a tent for now. Then we'll get you a nice little Airstream trailer or something. Let me see here what we got here. Food quality is going down. What are you talking about, Ines? Food quality is definitely going down everywhere just because they don't have enough workers. Or the costs are going up, so they're going to cheapen the product, right? Because they're too scared to raise prices. That's the other problem. I was giving that advice. Oh man, the other day, was it to my client? She said, just raise. No, it was somebody else. Oh, somebody else. I have a neighbor who has an amazing little organic elderberry business. And it's the bomb. And she's stuck at that point where everything's going up. And I was like, look, I know some people can't afford it, but you got to raise prices. Some will, some won't. So what? You got to stay in business or don't stay in business. It's clear if you're a business owner, right? Hey, man, we grew up in a grocery store where my family's motto was, we're a non-profit business. We're going to do everything we can not to make a profit. Let me tell you, man, whenever I see that, it puts such a bad taste in my mouth that I'll tell people, well, quit or raise prices. But that nonsense in the middle of just hanging on, nah, that's out of here because you got to pay yourself first. That's what we could talk about. And my husband said he's ready to go to bed now. Yo, what time is it, though? That's no joke. 7:49. Ooh. Yeah. But you guys still hanging with me. I appreciate that. But you can check out anytime you want, guys. I'll probably push on for another hour. Another 10 minutes. And call it a great session, you know. But what were we talking about? Was it nonprofit business? Yeah, man. Pay yourself first. There you go. That's probably the best topic we could finish up with. Yeah, everywhere real estate's expensive in the US. But man, I've seen too much there that makes me so uneasy about retiring. So uneasy. And well, you see it, after the hurricane. Yeah, and guys, pay yourself first. So I see these questions, I'm working with a client right now who she has a med spa and she's amazing. Having trouble getting clients. That's marketing and advertisement. We'll fix that. We'll definitely fix that. But another part of it is, a lot of people they're calling around for the cheapest product, and that's okay because I'm like that too. So I'm devising a strategy where it's like, hey, don't worry about them. Let's give them the information right front so they don't bother you, and then they'll move on. But don't be afraid to think that your customers won't pay for quality, okay? Because if it's worth it, they will. But because if you don't raise prices and you're running a business, who you working for? You're not working for yourself, man. You're working for the customer, and it may sound scary to open up a business, but really, you have to start thinking about different sources of income, multiple sources of income, just in case. All right, just in case something happens to the economy that's a black swan event that no one sees coming, a big surprise, you know. But start doing a little something on the side. Just don't be stupid about it. Like, make sure you research it. Make sure you connect with somebody that knows what they're doing, that you knew before. You know what I mean? Just don't get caught because there's a lot of scams out there because they know a lot of people are looking for other sources of income. And you have to compete with immigrants that are coming here. And if you're an immigrant that's watching this, man, ain't no hate on y'all because I respect your hustle. You got to do what you got to do. Tienes que hacer lo que tú tienes que hacer. But these days, I know everybody's thinking about another source of income, but you need to start making a little walk more toward it, and you start with just looking at yourself, man, what are you good at? And if you think you're not good at anything, then what do you want to be good at? And start going that way, man. Just start educating yourself a little each week. Pick a half day or a couple hours on a Wednesday night, Tuesday night. Make sure it's not the night that we're chatting. There be some comments here, okay? Well, buying a real nice piece of land and rent the areas. Me and my girlfriend, my lady. I know I gotta stop saying my girlfriend because she's my lady. She lives with me. She's my life partner right now, we went to a couple Saturdays ago near here in Riverview. We were cruising because I wanted to eat some Puerto Rican food. Sometimes you just gotta have it. And we came across this tire place, rims, but they had a big old parking lot, and in the front they had like 3 different food trucks there. So you can see that they rent out that space. There was a Cuban one, a Puerto Rican one, and a Peruvian one. We hit the Puerto Rican one. The food was outstanding. And we're outside eating it. And I know I was like, hey, I know that the owner of this place is also renting out the land here for the food trucks. Smart move. This guy's own little restaurant roll there, man. So yeah, that is a strategy. Good luck trying to find a piece of land right now when people that have money are gobbling that stuff up. Nonprofit corporation. Yeah. That's Norma's grocery store in Camden, New Jersey, man. My whole life growing up. We work for the neighborhood, but not for ourselves. That's topic for a different night. Yeah, work for yourself, guys. Okay, don't give it all to the kids. You got to hide a little bit for that day. Okay, when you think the love's going to come back and it don't. Yeah. And there's a lot of ways to do it too. Typical is what? Take 10% of that salary, that paycheck. You got to put it away. I don't care if you put it away in cash. No one needs to know where you put it at. I don't care if you buy gold and silver. All right. Something that you can save around the house, bury it somewhere, whatever. Pay yourself first. Put some of it in the bank, but just make sure, banks can give you a surprise one day. It's happened before. Almost happened in 2008, and that's history. You can Google that. Banks almost didn't open up the next day. They were going to roll the tanks. That's the famous saying. But nonprofit corporations, let me tell you though, this is probably one time that is also very smart if you do it right to open up a nonprofit corporation, because there's so much money coming in with the Biden administration for helping out the urban areas, the cities, and places in general where there's big unemployment or rough economic conditions, local conditions. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the older players come in. They're setting up their real estate so they can open up nonprofit corporations to help out the people. Now, understand, while you're running this nonprofit corporation, you hire yourself and your friends as an employee or employees, you're paying yourself six figures, 125, 200, 250,000 or more. You're just not making a profit. Then now you're going for all these funds, all these grants coming in. You're managing it and you're also putting it into action. You could set up training areas, advice on how to helping people get jobs. They come in and you look for them. Like I see all these businesses. I one time thought about it, but it's just not my thing. Maybe because it's the nonprofit part of it. Even though you pay yourself a lot of money, doesn't work for me. But you know what though? I knew one person who worked for charter schools was getting paid to work in four of them part-time. Like they were doing like this, like the charter school IT stuff, which was, I guess, was a real specialty. They were making over $300,000. It was in the paper, and because even though they're nonprofit, somebody's got to do the work and they paid themselves well, or they got paid well. So if there's any time that you think you could work for or start up a nonprofit, now will be the time with all this money. We're talking billions, but not just a billion, tens, hundreds of billions. So you're going to see that side of politics. The people that are connected or were waiting for it, they're going to make a killing. They're going to ride that wave for as long as they can. So as much as I was joking about a nonprofit corporation, now will be a great time to open one up. And we can talk about that sometime in the future. You bring it up on the screen, man. We'll get into that, and hopefully some other people can put in their pieces of genius or experience on this. I see there's a lot of LOLs. All right. Well, I think this person here, NS, I know who you are, has a lot of intimate knowledge about working for nonprofits and the whole. And that's just one little part of it, guys. I'm not trying to make a judgment on the whole industry of helping communities here, but yeah, we've had our conversations on the scams and everything else. But whatever, man. I'm trying to feel good tonight, and trying to stay up past my 9:30 curfew. Yeah, we're not doing pizza tonight. I made myself a double cheeseburger before I logged on here, so we're not doing pizza. But 9:30 curfew I don't know. I might still make that. I think my girl's gonna make me. I mean, we're planning to watch a movie together. I'm not being made to do anything. Should we go old school and hide it in our mattress? Okay. Let me tell you a story. What? Me tell a story. When I was a fireman, as you can see in my helmet there, I remember it was when I first came on, like the second or third year. Bad fire. 8 houses in a row, like 10:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. What was it? Was it? Everybody must have been high because I think it was like a few days or a couple days after the first. Well, anyway, because I'm like, we get the call. It was in my district, Engine 7. We had the first due. So we get the tones. We get there. 5 houses on fire. They all a row. Everybody shares the same porch. The fire was going through the porches, and in the first few houses, it was licking up. And like you get there and you're going, I don't believe this. This is incredible. It's 5 houses and it's daytime. Isn't anybody awake? No, everybody's crashed out. The party the night before. All right. We get in there. The fire was one of those big ass fires that just raced down. It got 8 houses. 1 person died. So hours later, I'm upstairs in one of the bedrooms, me and my boy Danny. He has the rake and I got the hose and I'm hitting the mattress and all around. The fires died down, but there's still spot fires. I see some green crumbled papers coming out of burnt coming out of the mattress. Yo, Danny, open up that mattress. Goes in there, opens it up, stuffed with money. I said, yo, we gotta call yo cat. We got a mattress full of money. Oh, he went and got a Camden cop, come up to the door, and then me and Danny, we dragged the mattress outside and let the cop take custody. We put her on the street. Now it's his problem. Later on, an old black man comes. And of course, when did he grow up? And what era did he grow up in? The Great Depression. Where what? All the banks, especially the black ones, but all of them, went out of business pretty much. Somebody's asking me if I'm still on. They should just hit that thing. And he came later to, man, he must have been in this like almost 80. At least that. And he came up and he asked me, and I was like, nah, the policeman has it. Goes to the policeman, they had it in the Bronco, boom, boom. He claimed it. But I asked him, talked to him for a minute. He was like, yeah. Don't trust banks, kid. Don't ever trust them. Yeah, dude, but you almost lost your money here. But really, cotton doesn't burn, guys. He had one of them old, not those new mattresses that burn. He had old cotton mattress. Cotton does not burn. Remember that. That doesn't mean that the heat won't kill you. But if you have a cotton shirt on, if a fire licks on you, it's not going to burn you. But the thermal damage, that's a different story. So he was like, don't ever trust banks, kid. No, Sonny. Don't ever trust banks, Sonny. All right? Just remember that. Okay. And, but yo, do not put money in the mattress. I'm not going to put money in because that sucker's going to burn false synthetic materials. First of all, I have no money. So I don't have that problem. I don't have money problems because I don't have money. Okay. But it also happened to me again. It was like another fire, maybe a year later, 2 years later. And old man comes up to me again, whole bunch of houses burnt. Old man comes up to me. Can I help you, sir? Can you do me a favor? Like, yeah. Go to the basement. And I already knew. Go behind the boiler. There's going to be a loose brick. Take that brick out. Please bring me that jar. Full of money. Packed full of money. Life savings. I don't know. I got my boy here trying to log on, but I know I sent him the link. Oh, maybe I did. Hold up, guys. Let me try to squeeze my man in here. All right. Yeah, so I don't know. about that advice because they still kept their money. All right, they wasn't worrying about, oh my God, the ATMs ain't gonna open up the next morning, or that the bankers or the banks shut down overnight because of some international economic bullshit. I mean, bull stuff. And they walked away with their mattress and they walked away with their jar full of money. Of course, interest, the inflation rate killed it. They probably lost 80 or 90% of what it was worth, but whatever, man. You take that the way you want to. I got a cheeseburger and I got a cigarette. Okay. Hey, guys, I really do appreciate you logging on for my first time. I hope you got some value out of it. And feel free to subscribe and tap that notification bell if you see it, okay? And then I'll give you an alert when I'm going to come on next. I really don't think we're going to do Friday night ones. If you feel that you should, give me a thumbs up or put in the comments what day you prefer. I'm thinking Mondays, maybe Thursday. I don't know, because I'm trying not to conflict too much with sports or people when they naturally go out, maybe Wednesday, let me know. Yeah, it's a sad story, I know. But anyway, I thank you again for showing up. Again, I hope you got some value from this. And next time, and feel free also to let me know. Just message me, whatever, when you can, what you want to talk about. What do you want from me? You want like more lighthearted stuff, a mixture of serious, life events, life things. In the end, I do want to keep it relieving. You know what I mean? Because that's what I search for at nighttime. When I do log on to somebody, I want to be entertained. I want interactivity. And just to feel that I'm connected to others in some way that the last year during COVID I couldn't find. So I'm hoping I'm able to take this, put it as a recording, and put it on the channel. Okay, Crash Tribe is the channel. I'm still tinkering on how YouTube does this because everything falls under your name, and then I guess you can put branding under it, whatever. But I'm gonna make sure that the hashtags do say Crash Tribe. If you're listening, you've been inducted into the Crash Tribe. Okay, there's a crash, economic crash, and we're just a tribe of people trying to fight our way through it and survive and thrive. Hey, thank you and good night.